Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Cole Crawford.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for coming back and continuing to learn about what we're doing with this community and how you guys are going to be able to take advantage of this and run with this ball. We're going to switch it up a little bit. We've got one speaker who's on a small time constraint, but it's a good problem to have if you're a Facebook or a Microsoft where you're running hundreds of megawatts of data center space. But what if you're running, you know, in the single digits to the teens to maybe, you know, the 50, 60 megawatt data center? How does open compute talk to the SMB market? And I think as cloud continues to improve and as customers get used to interfacing with software as a service and infrastructure as a service, we're moving into this new world where data centers and colo providers become increasingly important to adopting new technologies. So we're switching up Doug Taylor from Stack Velocity, and I'm going to welcome out Stéphane Duproz from Telecity, who operates Telecity France. So please help me welcome Stéphane.
Hi there. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for being here with us today. My name is Stéphane Duproz. I manage Telecity Group in France. As it's been very smartly introduced, I'm going to present a different view of OCP today. What's been mainly talked about earlier this morning is how OCP is a fantastic model when you operate mega-scale data centers for your own usage. We at Telecity are the #1 colo provider in Europe. We have 41 data centers, and those are commercial data centers, which means that we have a lot of various, we have something in France like 300 customers who have their own needs. We cannot operate our data centers as if they were only ours. I'm also happy to present myself as the Vice President of the CESIT, which is the French Association of Data Centers, and I also happen to be the Vice President of the European Data Center Association. So what's happening is that even huge owners of data centers, like the big names we've seen today, operate their own data centers in large markets such as the US, but in Europe sometimes, or in where you have smaller countries and smaller markets, there is a need for them to come to colo data centers to interconnect with our other customers. That can be telco, that can be other service providers or other cloud providers. And at that time, what they need is to be able to find in an environment that is designed for various and a large number of customers, they need to find an environment that is OCP friendly. So what we've done is that we have done surveys together with OCP in France, in particular with Jean-Marie Verdun. I suppose you have met already this morning, or you will certainly meet shortly over the next 2 days. And we have surveys how colo data centers could accommodate open server and open racks in a mutualized environment. So we have surveyed those equipment that you can see on the slide here. It is also important to understand that Telecity, being the #1 operator of data centers in Europe, is specifically what we call a neutral data center operator, which means that we really favor philosophically an open environment. In our data centers, we spend all our energy to be able to provide to each and every of our customers a personalized solution where the customers is free to have whoever telco he wants, free to have whoever service provider he wants, free to change whenever he wants. Which means that philosophically we are very close to everything that is open, which is the reason why we have decided to get together with Jean-Marie and spend some time together to see how we could help promote the idea of open compute within our data centers. So that's what we've done. And we have quickly realized all the important advantages of the use of OCP servers and rack. First, it really optimizes the usage and the compute capacity because there is an increased number of servers that you can put in a rack. Second, there is really within the server and rack OCP design a very interesting feature that allows all the servers in there to be protected against something that is very frequent actually, which is the little power cut that can be in milliseconds, but that happen very often, a little bit less in France because we have a chance to have a very stable power grid, but nevertheless, it still happens. The internal batteries within that OCP design allow to prevent that from happening. Also, very, very important, it's been said during almost the first minute of the presentation today, what's great with that OCP design is the fact that there is a lot of major standard within their usual data centers equipment that is not used in the model and that really saves a lot of energies. Standard data centers like ours have UPSs. It's very important that we do have that. But UPSs consume energy themselves, whether or not, regardless of the capacity that is used from them, they consume. So the fact of making those equipment disappear really enhances significantly the energy saving. What's very important to understand as well is the fact that the current model as it is, it's certainly going to evolve. The current model is meant at being fed by one power string. And then it has its own redundancy inside, and it's secure to provide a very good availability of service. But it only has one power string, whereas data centers are usually meant at providing two, and in case of Telecity, three power strings to each of the standard racks. So in other words, today, the OCP model is really beautifully designed for new data centers created specifically for that design, and we've seen a few examples earlier on today, or it's just absolutely perfect as well for old server rooms or data centers that you cannot upgrade to a multi-feed. You don't need to do that with the OCP model, and that's very, very good. In other words, our leading premium carrier-neutral data centers like Telecity ones offer an additional layer of resilience that the OCP model doesn't really need. Nevertheless, some people may have OCP model servers and racks joined with some other type of standard collocation, and we can easily accommodate that. Another very important thing to understand is that what is great also with the OCP server and rack model is that it is high density. It can go, from what we've surveyed, up to 12 kilowatt a rack. Everybody within the data center industry has been speaking for years about high density with announcement made that the industry is going to face an average power density of 4, 5, 6, even 10 kilowatt per square meter. That, in real life, isn't the case yet. So our data centers are some of the highest density in Europe, and they are, on average, at about 2 kilowatt per square meter. Nevertheless, it's also been designed, and that will be my point of that slide, to make sure that we could accommodate racks up to 20 kilowatts. We can't have only that, of course. We need to make a balance because the site has its bit of capacity, but we can accommodate 5, 10, 15, 20, and even 30 kilowatt racks pretty easily. And it's very important when some of you will make the choice of where they could host their OCP rack and servers, that we find a data center. Telecity does that, but there are others, of course. That you find a data center that has been originally designed to be able to accommodate up to the 12 kilowatts that those racks allow to use. Our most recent data center in Paris is it's been elected best data center in Europe several times. We have a really very powerful and very strong cooling system using complete free cooling. So it's highly energy efficient, but it has the robustness, the capacity to cool the OCP systems that use 12 kilowatt per racks. Also, very important to understand, so the electrical integration to a data center like ours is pretty easy. There's no major issue. Almost any data center can accommodate those models, which is one of the beauty of the models. Cooling, as I said, is a bit more complicated. You really need to make sure that the data center has the cooling capacity to do that. Reason why some of those mega cloud providers also come to Telecity, and all of them are within our data centers in Europe, is the fact that they also come and get connectivity. We are the highest connected data center in Europe, hosting all of the internet exchange points, and that is also something that provides a better performance for your applications and for the capacity you can have of delivering the content. Quick word about Telecity itself. As I said, it is Europe's #1 premium carrier-neutral data center operator. And you have here a few elements on our company. We are listed on the London Stock Exchange and have a data center in the UK, in France, of course, in Ireland, and 11 countries in Europe. We are very, very happy to be with you today. Again, philosophically, we've always been very, very close to everything that could be open, non-proprietary, with capacity to develop. We really think we love being part of a technological world, but technology by essence is something that evolves and changes all the time. And that is the reason why we, as one of the most important IT and technology development facilitator, you may not realize, or you probably realize because you are very educated in terms of data centers, but whatever new technology, whatever new ideas that arrive on the IT as far as infrastructure is concerned ends up in the data center. So we see everything that is happening on a day-to-day basis. And I just wanted to say that you have, with Telecity Group and Telecity Group and probably with others as well, you really have a very mature industry in France and in Europe to help you guys promote the ideas of the open stack, open compute, and generally a free IT world to make sure that you have secured environment, performing environment that will allow you to develop whatever technology you want in a way that you feel free and performing in the execution. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a great summit and hopefully see you shortly in Paris.